The Louds were in Vanzilla. They were driving down the streets of Royal Woods on their way to a farmhouse that Lynn Sr. bought with the money from the lottery that he won just a few days ago. Are we there yet? Lana asked. Your turn, Lynn, Rita said to her husband to answer Lana's question. Not yet, Lana, but we'll get there soon, Lynn Sr. answered. So what is the whole point of going to this stupid farmhouse? Lola scoffed in question. Well, Lola, I won the lottery and got to buy the farmhouse. And we're spending 2 weeks there. It'll be fun, Lynn Sr. said. With the other Loud siblings, they were minding their own business and being silly as they usually are. Within a few more minutes, the Louds reached the huge farmhouse with a big barn. Lynn Sr. pulled Vanzilla up in the driveway to the farmhouse parked when they got to the garage. When everyone got out of Vanzilla, they brought their bags inside. Once the unloading was finished, the Louds looked around the farmhouse. It was really huge with a lot of bedrooms, and Lincoln even got his own bedroom, while his sisters had to each share a room. This house is a lot like ours, Luna said. And there is 3 bathrooms, one in the basement, one upstairs where the bedrooms are, and one near the front hallway, Lisa added. That's a relief, Luann said. Why don't we explore the barn that is not far from here? Dad says there's animals inside, Lenny suggested. Lincoln and his sisters ran out of the house, and they headed towards the barn next door to the house. Upon entering the barn, they could see hay and straw inside with hay bales and tools. There's animals here, Lana pointed out, seeing the animals in their pens. It was a very huge barn, meaning that there were a lot of animals in it. There's cows and sheep in these pens with pigs, too, Lincoln added. Guys, take a look at the stables. Dad says there's a couple of horses inside, Lori said, as everyone looked inside at the animals and looked at them before heading off to where the horses were at. Now, what is this horse called? Lola asked, seeing a Welsh pony. It's a Welsh pony, Lola. There's 3 in here. For Lisa, Lana, and you, Lynn Jr. said. There is a big horse in this stall, Lucy stated, as she headed for another stall with a large horse. That horse is called a Belgian Draft, Luna said. It's in this book I got at the bookstore last week. It talks about all the different breeds of horses, dudes. There's a Clydesdale in this stall beside it, Luann said. Yeah, and I wonder if it's Clyde McBride, Mr. Coconuts chirped. It's not him, Mr. Coconuts, but you are close, Luann laughed. You guys, there's a horse in here, and it's bigger on the side, Lenny said, a few stalls down from them. The rest of the Louds headed over to Lenny's direction and looked in the stall window. There was a horse eating hay, and her sides were a lot more round. That's a female horse, Lenny, Lisa said, and seeing the sides on the mare's barrel, it appears to be a mare, which is another word for female horse. And judging by the sides getting bigger around her stomach, I could see that she's expecting a foal. You mean she's pregnant? Lola asked. Yeah, and she's gonna have a baby, Lisa replied. She sure looks bigger than any horse, and she eats like one. Ha ha ha! Luann cackled at her pun. Dad did say that one of the horses was having a baby, so this must be the one he's talking about, Lori realized. So, gang, how do you like the farm so far? Lynn Sr. asked as he and Rita headed back inside the barn. It's great, Dad. The animals here are amazing, Lana replied. Dad, is that horse pregnant? Lori asked Lynn Sr. That's correct, Lori. Her name is Elsa. She's a rescue horse, and after her foal is born, we'll start to train her into riding lessons, Lynn Sr. explained. She's a quarter horse, and she is due any time now. Can we stay at the farmhouse until the foal is born? Lynn Jr. asked. Please, Daddy, pretty please, Lola added. Everyone was so overjoyed at the fact that a new foal was going to be born at the Loud family farm. As soon as Lynn Sr. heard enough pleas from his children, he and Rita gave in. Of course we can, kids. We also have neighbors who will help us with the farm animals, Rita said. And will the vet come here to check on Elsa with her unborn foal, as she is approaching her due date, Lynn Sr. said. Say, kids, Would you any of you kids like to do a riding lesson? Just as Lynn Sr. said that, a woman in her late 20s showed up. She was the coach of the farmhouse that the Louds bought. Hi there, I'm Martha Evans, and you must be the Louds, Martha said. That's right, we are, Lori replied. Horsey baby? Lily asked Rita, pointed at Elsa. Yes, Lily, that horse is having a baby just like I had all of you guys, Rita replied. Let me assign you all to your horses and we'll figure out your riding levels and get to it, Martha said. As Martha took care of Lynn Sr. and Rita's children, Lily was with them near where the sheep and pigs were, working around the farm. Martha is such an awesome worker, Lynn. I'm glad we won the lottery, Rita said, as she and Lynn Sr. began to feed the sheep and the pigs. Yep, and this farm life is fantastic, Lynn Sr. replied. Which reminds me, I have to call the vet to check on Elsa. Lynn Sr. got on his cell phone to call the vet. Meanwhile, out in the indoor arena, Martha was teaching Lisa, Lola, Lana, Lynn Jr., Lucy, and Lincoln on their horses, while Luann, Lenny, Lori, and Luna were sweeping the stables. As soon as they were doing their jobs, Lori turned to hear shuffling coming from the storage room. She stopped and wondered who was inside the storage room. Lenny, along with Luna and Luann, soon took notice of Lori. Confused as they were, they all stared at the storage room for a few seconds. Then someone walked out of the storage room. It was Bobby. Boo Boo Bear, how did you get here? Lori asked in surprise. Hey babe, I was here with your permission from your parents. They said that I could surprise you, so I did, Bobby replied as he walked out of the storage room. Ronnie Ann was going to come and join me, but she had some stuff going on back at the city. It's all good, Bobby. So, how's it going? Lori asked. Nothing much. I was just about to feed the horses dinner. Want to help me? Bobby asked a question. Sounds good. Like a plan. We've just finished sweeping the stables, Lori said. Then she, Lenny, Luna, and Luann began to help Bobby feed the horses in the stable. When Luna approached Elsa in her stall, she looked at how huge Elsa's stomach was. So she approached the mare slowly and placed her hand on the mare's stomach. Dudes, you should come in here, Luna called quietly, without startling the horse. Bobby, Lori, Lenny, and Luann showed up, confused and wondered what was going on. Is everything okay? Luann asked. You should all feel this. I think the foal just moved, Luna said. Then her sisters and Bobby all took turns feeling Elsa's stomach. Sure enough, they all felt movement inside. We all felt our siblings move when Mom was pregnant, so this is no different, Lori said. Except this is a horse, of course. Ha ha ha! Luann laughed as she said at her pun, not laughing too loud to scare the horse. Keep the voices down, Lori reminded Luann. She sure looks like the baby could come any day now, Luna said. Then Lori looked at the time on her phone. You guys, it's almost time for our riding lesson. We all got to give Elsa space and get the horses we've been assigned to all ready to ride, Lori said to her horses. Okay, come on, dudes, Luna said. As everyone walked out of Elsa's stall, Luann turned to look at Elsa just before leaving the stall. We're so excited to meet your new foal soon, Luann said to Elsa, then left her stall. When dinner was being served at 6 p.m., the Louds were all at the dinner table, eating spaghetti with garlic bread and more. So, what did you think of the farm I bought? Lynn Sr. asked. It's amazing so far, Dad. Thanks to Lori for picking the lucky numbers, Lincoln said. It was very surprising that we won, but it was literally worth it, Lori replied. Who's keeping an eye on Elsa? Lynn Jr. asked. Martha is. She ate dinner already and is keeping an eye on her. She does know that we all want to see the foal being born, so she'll let us know when Elsa's having the foal, Rita answered. We should all come up with names for the foal, like we'll write them down and decide from there, Lana suggested. That's a great idea, dude. We'll all pick names for boys and girls, Luna added. Yeah, since we don't know what the gender of the foal's going to be yet, it could be a colt or a filly, Lori said. Yes, after dinner you kids and Bobby can decide on names, Lynn Sr. piped in, and then the Louds and Bobby continued to eat their dinner. When nightfall came to the Loud farm, Lana was watching Elsa with Luna while she was trying to come up with a song for the foal.
but she was having a hard time trying to think of one. "We have to head to bed soon, dude," Luna said to Lana. "I know, Luna, but we don't want to miss the foal being born," Lana said, a bit impatient. "According to my research on my book of horses, it says that most foals are born in the late hours of the night and or sometimes in the very early hours of the morning," Luna replied. "But Marfa says she'll keep an eye on Elsa and will alert us as soon as possible."
As Luna sat down beside Lana, the younger sister was wondering what Luna was doing. "What are you doing with that guitar and paper?" Lana asked. "I'm trying to write a song for the foal, but I'm stumped on what I want the song to be and sound like," Luna replied, feeling stumped. "Well, I'm sure you'll figure out something," Lana said. Then they turned to see Marfa asleep on the couch near the stable. Luna walked out of the barn. As Lana was the last one to leave, she forgot to shut Elsa's stall door, and not only that, Lana also forgot to shut the barn door while walking out. So in the middle of the night, Elsa looked at her stall door to see it was open along with the barn door. The mare walked out of her stall, headed towards the front door of the barn, and then walked away from the barn property. No one had noticed that the stall door and the barn door weren't closed, and even Marfa didn't notice that Elsa had gotten out. When it was 6 a.m. in the morning, Lori, Lenny, and Luna got up to check on Elsa. They wondered if the foal was born while they were sleeping, but when they peered inside Elsa's stall, the horse wasn't there. "Uh-oh, Elsa's gone, dudes," Luna said. "What could have happened last night?" Lenny asked. "Someone must have forgot to shut the stall door, which explains why the barn door was open when we got up," Lori replied. "Lana was with me last night, and she was the last one out, so she must have forgotten to shut the stall door and the barn door." "Oh man, this is bad," Luna said. "Hang on, Luna. We'll get all the family except for Mom and Dad," Lori suggested. "Why not tell Mom and Dad?" Lenny asked. "They can help us." "I don't want them to worry. Maybe we can find Elsa ourselves," Lori said. A half an hour later, the rest of the Loud siblings and Bobby were now inside the stable. "So, Elsa left the barn last night?" Lynn Jr. asked. "Yes, and it's my fault!" Lana exclaimed a confession, which caught her siblings and Bobby's attention. "What do you mean it's your fault?" Lincoln asked. "I forgot to shut Elsa's door last night, and I also forgot to shut the barn door as well," Lana said, on the verge of a breakdown. "I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry." "Lana, we need to calm down here. A breakdown isn't going to help," Lynn said. "Lynn's right. It's not your fault. We just gotta find out where Elsa went. Hopefully she hasn't gone too far," Lincoln said. "I think we should look in the barn first. Maybe Elsa didn't actually leave the barn," Lisa suggested. Everyone looked and checked around every place in the barn for Elsa, but after looking for some time, they still hadn't found her. "Well, she's not in this barn anywhere," Bobby said. "How about we look in the pastures, dude? We haven't looked outside. Maybe she's in the pastures. It's worth to look," Luna suggested. They all headed out to the barn and headed towards the pastures. While they were down by the pastures, they couldn't find her anywhere on the property. "She must have gone outside of our property, so maybe we should tell Mom and Dad and Marfa and ask for help," Lincoln suggested before being held back by Lori. "Lincoln, we're going to find Elsa ourselves. Mom, Dad, and Marfa will worry if we tell them, so we got to get Elsa back here on her own. Who knows where she could be," Lori stated. "Your dad's got the trailer attached to the truck. I can drive that if you could drive Vanzilla," Bobby suggested, as everyone agreed to this plan. Bobby got in the truck attached to the trailer while Lori and her siblings got inside Vanzilla. "Will our parents and Marfa worry about us?" Lucy asked. "Yes, but I'll leave him a text message," Lori replied as she texted Marfa along with Rita and Lynn Sr. about what's going on. Then they headed out of the farm property and headed down the country road with Bobby. When they drove down for a good 5 minutes, everyone looked around for Elsa in the fields of the countryside. "I don't see Elsa anywhere. I sure hope she's okay," Luann said. "She's gotta be out here somewhere," Lenny added. "Siblings, I think I have found a way to help us find Elsa," Lisa announced,
Then she held up an invention. This is a horse tracker device. It will help us find Elsa. I put a DNA sample of hers on this device the other day, and it will start making beeping sounds when she's nearby. I tested it out last night on a horse, and it worked out perfectly.
This device will definitely help us, Lori said. Lisa, you are a genius. Hey, there's a horse farm up ahead. Maybe she's in there. Lola pointed at the huge luxury farm. I guess we can see if she's there, but I don't know if they have her, Lincoln said. Bobby parked on the side of the road along with Lori. Then they all approached a large, luxurious farm. Hey there, fam. What's up? A farmer asked. Hello, we are so sorry to barge into this farm at a time like this, but we have an emergency, Lynn Jr. replied. Have you seen this bay quarter-horse mare? She's pregnant and looks like this, Lori said, as she showed the farmer woman a picture of Elsa on her phone. We do have horses, but I don't think we have a pregnant one, but feel free to look around, the female farmer said. Then the Louds and Bobby looked around the farm. As they were looking around, Lori saw Lana in a mud puddle. Lana, we can't get too dirty right now. We have to stay on task, Lori scolded as she pulled Lana away from the mud puddle. Aw, come on, I liked that stuff, Lana whined. Inside the barn, Bobby and the rest of the Louds were still poking around. Lynn Jr. was talking to the Shetland pony just to keep him company when Lincoln saw her. Lynn, what are you doing? That's not Elsa, Lincoln pointed out. I know, Lincoln. I was just hanging out with this guy, Lynn Jr. said before she walked out of the stall to search the luxury farm. Within 15 minutes, the Louds and Bobby had no luck on finding Elsa. Still haven't found her? Luna said in disappointment. She's not here, so we'll have to keep looking, Lisa said, before the Louds and Bobby headed back to their vehicles and headed down the road towards a town that was not far from Royal Woods. At that town that they were apparently was named Meadow Lane Creek. The Louds and Bobby parked near a restaurant called Tony's Bar and Grill, where they headed inside to search for Elsa. I don't think we're going to find a horse in here, Lucy said. We're here for lunch, Lucy, because I'm starving, Lori stated. I guess a lunch break wouldn't hurt, and then the search is on again, Luann said. Meanwhile, at the farmhouse, Lynn Sr. was with Rita, Marfa, and Lily were in the barn. They had been alerted that Elsa was missing, and they got Lori's text message regarding where they were. I am worried about Elsa right now. What if something bad happens to her? Lynn Sr. said dramatically. Now, Lynn, I'm sure Elsa is fine. I just hope the kids will find her, Rita reassured her husband. I'll contact everyone you know about Elsa, and then I'll search around the farmlands for her, Marfa said. Thank you so much, Marfa. You are a lifesaver, Lynn Sr. said. Since Elsa could have the foal any day now, Lynn, why not get the stall ready with straw as bedding? Rita said. Sounds like a plan. The vet said to do that when she talked to me yesterday, Lynn Sr. replied. Back at Meadow Lane Creek, the Louds and Bobby had finishing their lunch and headed back to their vehicles. They drove to a nearby country road where they pulled on the side of the road before jumping out. Once out of their vehicles, near the left side, Lisa found some hoof prints in the dirt. I think I found what we're looking for, Lisa said, as she grabbed her horse tracking device and examined the hoof print. What does it say, dude? Luna asked. It says from a mare, so it must be Elsa's, Lisa said. Let's follow the hoof prints. Elsa's gotta be close, Lori pointed out. Then she and Bobby led the rest of the Louds down a path. After a few minutes of following the hoof prints, they went right into a ditch near mud. There is hoof prints leading into this mud here, dudes, Luna pointed out. Prepare to get into a muddy situation. Get it? Ha 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 ha! Luann laughed. We're going in, but let's not get stuck, Lori advised, as everyone went through the muddy path. While walking through the mud, Lana could hear noise in the distance. It sounded like a circus was going on. I hear something, you guys, Lana said. What is it, Lana? Is it Elsa? Lola asked. No, it sounds like music. Circus music, Lana replied, as she and the rest of her sisters walked towards the bushes with Bobby following them.
They slowly walked out of the bushes and saw the circus going on in the fields. A circus? Man, that is so swell, Luann said with a pun and a giggle. Elsa might be at the circus. Come on, gang, let's move, Lori instructed as she, Bobby, and her siblings followed her out of the forest with the muddy path. That circus might have found Elsa, so let's head there and look for her, Bobby said. Good plan, Boo Boo Bear, and maybe we'll ask people there if they've seen her, Lori added as they headed towards the circus that was in the distance. At the circus, there were a ton of people working and visiting the circus. The Louds and Bobby entered the circus, and they had a look around. I can't see Elsa anywhere, yet the horse tracking device says Elsa's been here, Lisa said. She could be anywhere in this circus. Why don't we all split up and search for her? Lincoln suggested. I wasn't going to suggest that idea, but it's fine, Lori said. Then she got everyone's attention. Now everyone, let's all split up and try to find Elsa. Then we all meet back here at the statue of a clown at 3 o'clock. Right, let's go, Bobby said, as he and all the Louds split up in several directions. As Lincoln looked in the cages of animals, there were a lot of lions and tigers and bears, oh my! But he had no luck finding Elsa. However, a fat guy wearing a yellow hat with a W on the front, purple pants, and a yellow shirt watched Lincoln from a circus tent. It was that treasure-hoarding prankster named Wario. Hey, I recognize that white-haired kid. It's Lincoln Loud. I pranked his older sister and her boyfriend a while ago. So maybe I'll pull a few pranks on him too. Wario smirked and then walked over to a barrel of beer and filled a balloon with it. As Lincoln headed towards the tent, Wario hid behind a crate with the beer balloon and waited for him to get close. Once Lincoln was in range, Wario tossed the beer balloon at him, which struck Lincoln right in the face and exploded, getting him wet. Ah, my eyes! Lincoln yelled as he was doused in beer. Ha ha ha! Wario got you good! Wario cackled and then ran off laughing. Lincoln quickly rushed over to a water faucet near the side of the tent and washed the beer off of his face. Once he dried himself off with the towel, he saw Wario heading towards another tent in the distance. Upon seeing him, Lincoln grew pissed. As he headed for the tent, he saw Lenny doing a fashion show in a clown costume at a carnival stand. Lenny, what are you doing? Lincoln asked. Oh, I'm just doing a fashion show in a clown costume, Lenny replied. Did you find Elsa? No, but that fat prankster named Wario was just here and threw a beer balloon at my face, Lincoln said. We gotta stop him before he tries pranking everyone else in this circus. Just as Lincoln said that, Lori and Bobby both came into the tent and that Lenny and Lincoln were both in. Did you say that Wario pranked you? Lori asked, visibly pissed. He pranked me and Bobby a while ago. He shot me and Bobby with a paintball gun. Aw, man, did he do that? Lincoln asked. Yeah, and one of them hit my nuts, Bobby replied. We gotta stop him, or he'll prank everyone else. Well then, let's round up everyone and try to catch Wario, Lori instructed. As Lincoln and Lenny went on one direction, while Lori and Bobby went the other way. Lola was doing pageants when Lori and Bobby found her doing along with Lynn Jr. and Lana. Lenny and Lincoln found Lucy and Lisa in one tent petting the animals, and soon they had to find Luna and Luann. Where can Luna and Luann be? Lucy asked. What is that purple thing? Lenny asked, seeing the purple dinosaur walking in the tent. Then they heard Luna's voice coming from the tent that the purple dinosaur walked in, so they needed to head off in that direction. As they were on their way, Lincoln texted Lori on where to meet him and the others at. When Lincoln, Lenny, Lucy, and Lisa walked inside the tent, they found Luna on her guitar playing music while the purple dinosaur was singing. Is it just me, or does that purple dinosaur remind you of anyone? Lisa asked. It looks like Barney the dinosaur, but why is he here? Lucy asked. I'm not sure, Lincoln replied. So you guys, what do you call a purple dinosaur? Barney the dinosaur! Ha ha ha! Luann cackled at her joke.
Lincoln then realized that Luann was dressed up in a Barney costume just to entertain the kids. "Luann, is that you?" Lincoln asked, as Luann took off the headpiece of the Barney costume. "Yeah, it's me in the Barney costume. I wanted to wear it for entertainment," Luann replied, as she turned around to look behind her. When she did that, the dinosaur tail hit Wario, who had a stink bomb with him. Upon realizing he was trying to prank her, Luann shook her head. "Hey, Louds," Wario said nervously. "You searching for Patrick Star?" "No, dude, you pranked some of my siblings," Luna said sternly. "I just told Mario about what you did, so you'll be going back to the Mushroom Kingdom." With that said, Lenny and Lincoln grabbed Wario and threw him in the trunk, to which Luann shut and locked it tight. "Don't bother trying to get out of here, Wario, because Mario will be here to deal with you soon." Luann cackled. Then Lori, Bobby, and the rest of the Loud siblings showed up. "There you all are," Lori said. "What happened while we were out?" "That fat treasure hoarding prankster named Wario pranked some of us, but thankfully we stopped him," Lisa explained. "Luna texted Mario about it, so he'll be here in a bit to take Wario back to the Mushroom Kingdom." Luann, why are you dressed up as Barney the dinosaur?" Lori asked Luann. "I found it in a costume box, so I decided to entertain the kids as Barney with it," Luann replied. "Plus, I made a decent amount of money from it." "Well, there's no time to get dressed up as Barney the dinosaur, Luann. We gotta find Elsa," Lori said. Then Luann got out of the Barney costume. Soon the Louds were out of the tent, searching for Elsa again. "Any advice on how we could find her?" Lola asked. "Yeah, there has to be a way we haven't tried yet," Lana added. "Perhaps we should try looking up from up high somewhere with a telescope," Lisa suggested. Then Lynn climbed to the tree and got her telescope out to look through it. As she was looking around, she found a pregnant horse in the field. It was none other than Elsa in the field, walking around. "You guys, I saw Elsa in the fields. She's just north of us. We gotta get to her," Lynn said. "Well then, we better catch her before she runs off," Lori said. "I'll head back to the truck with the trailer and meet you at the field," Bobby said. "Be careful, babe." "I will, Boo Boo Bear. See you at the field," Lori replied, as the Louds headed towards the field while Bobby headed back the way they came to fetch the truck with the trailer. As the Louds were running onto the field, they saw Elsa about 6 feet away from them. "Did she have the baby?" Luann asked. "It appears that she didn't have the foal yet, so she's still pregnant," Lisa replied. "Now you guys, we have to use soft voices around her. We don't want to scare her off, so let's be quiet," Lori said as she grabbed a halter and lead rope and walked across towards Elsa. Lori eventually got the halter on Elsa and attached a lead rope to her halter. "We finally found her, and she seems to be okay," Lana said. "She has no injuries from what I can see," Luna replied. Then a loud cat screech can be heard, startling the Louds. They turned to see a mountain lion approaching them from the front and the left. "Oh man, it's a mountain lion, and he looks mad," Luann said. "We gotta take care of that big cat before he tries to eat Elsa and us," Lola stated. "I'll distract the mountain lion. Lynn can hit it with her baseball bat," Lincoln said, then tossed the baseball bat to Lynn Jr. "We better get Elsa away from the mountain lion. She can't fight while pregnant," Lynn advised. Then she and Lincoln distracted the mountain lion. Then her siblings walked Elsa in the opposite direction of danger, just to get away from it. As Lincoln distracted the mountain lion, Lynn Jr. snuck up from behind the creature with her bat in hand. When Lincoln was at the edge of a cliff, he ended up being cornered by the mountain lion. But Lynn Jr. saved him just in time by striking the big cat with the baseball bat so hard that it knocked him out. "Thanks, Lynn. I thought he had me," Lincoln said. "No problem. That should knock the big cat out for a long time," Lynn Jr. replied. "Now let's head back towards the vans," Lynn Jr. said. Then she and Lincoln went back the way they came. They headed for a country road where Vanzilla and the truck and trailer were there. Elsa had been loaded inside the trailer, and the Louds were in Vanzilla.
Lincoln and Lynn headed in that direction and caught up with their siblings and Bobby. There you guys are. You all right? Lori asked them. We're okay now. I knocked out that mountain lion, so he won't be moving around for a while, Lynn Jr. replied.
He cornered me, but Lynn stopped him just in time, Lincoln added. Well, we're all glad you're okay, Lori said. We should all head back to the farm now. Elsa could have the baby at any time now, Bobby said from his truck. Then we better get home, Lincoln said. Then the Louds and Bobby headed home from their big and great adventure. Back at the Loud family farm, it was around 4:30 p.m. Rita and Lily, along with Lynn Sr., were pacing around the barn. They hadn't heard from their children in several hours, and they were worried. The McBrides hadn't seen the kids or Elsa. I sure hope they're okay, Rita replied. Me too. I'm getting worried about them. And Elsa, Lynn Sr. added. Martha said that she's called everyone in the countryside she knows and still no sign of them, Rita said. Then she heard Vanzilla and a truck with a trailer pulling up on the farm property. That's the kids and Bobby, Lynn Sr. said, as he and Lily and Rita all turned to see Lori with her siblings and Bobby. They were safe and unharmed, and as they ran to hug them all, Oh my God, we're so glad you're all home. We've been worried about you all, Rita said with tears of joy. We had to find Elsa and went through some adventure, Lynn Jr. said, as Bobby got Elsa out from the trailer. First, we went to a farm, and it was luxurious, and then we found our first place to look, Lenny stated. Then we went to a restaurant, and then we went to a circus, and we found Elsa in the meadow all by herself, Lola added. Wario tried to prank us, but we stopped him before he could. He did prank a few of us, but we managed to stop him, Luann said. And then there was a mountain lion, and he was going to eat me, but Lynn saved me, Lincoln chirped. Soon all the kids were talking at once, and the parents couldn't understand the whole story. Slow down, kids, Lynn Sr. exclaimed, getting the kids to stop talking. At dinner time, you can all tell your story of what happened. Okay, Dad, but we're okay now, dudes, Luna said. Then Martha showed up, surprised that the Louds and Bobby had returned home safely. I'm so glad you're all okay. We were all very worried when we haven't heard from you in a while, Martha said. Elsa seems to be just fine. Let me get her in her stall. Martha took Elsa and led the mare to her stall. Now we can see the foal being born, Lori said. She's got away from us for a while, but it happened when Lana left the stall door open and the barn door open. But we found Elsa, and what matters is that she and the foal are safe. You kids must be dirty. Look at the mud and stuff, Rita said, seeing how dirty their children and Bobby were. While we make dinner, you should all have showers and baths, and at dinner time, you could all talk about your one great adventure. That story will be a fairy tale to tell, ha ha ha, Luann laughed, as she, along with the rest of Rita and Lynn Sr.'s children, headed inside the farmhouse to take showers and baths. Before Lynn Sr., Rita, and Lily headed inside the farmhouse, they turned to see Martha near Elsa's stall. She turned to the parents' attention. I'll keep an eye on Elsa. I'll let you all know when she's about to have her foal, so that way you and your children could come see her foal being born, Martha said, as the parents with Lily headed inside the farmhouse. After the Louds and Bobby had their baths and showers, they were all clean and were eating dinner in the dining room. They all told their great story in full detail to the parents and Lily. That must have been some adventure you all had, Rita said. Yeah, and it was something, Lenny replied. This was the best adventure ever. Yeah, and I can't wait to tell my friends about this at school. We should all tell from our perspectives, Lincoln said. That way our stories will be flawless and it will be a big hit. I'm sure they'll enjoy those stories, Lynn Sr. replied. Elsa did get away from us for a while, but at least she and the unborn foal are safe and sound, Lisa said. I was wearing a Barney costume at the circus. Say, can I get a Barney costume? Luann asked. I don't see why not, Luanna Banana. When we go to the circus tomorrow, I will buy you a Barney costume just for you, Lynn Sr. replied. Thanks, Dad. That's super duper. Ha ha ha. Luann laughed. Will Elsa's foal be born tonight or in the early hours of the morning? Lana asked. Well, we're not sure yet. It's hard to say. But Marfa will keep an eye on her and will let Paige us when that happens, Rita said. Then her phone dinged and it was Marfa. Kids, Elsa's about to have her foal. Let's go. As Rita said that, the Louds and Bobby got very excited. Lynn Sr. quieted everyone down as the kids and Bobby took their attention towards Lynn Sr. Before we head down to the stable, we have to keep our voices down and low when we're in the stable. Elsa does not need to be stressed out while giving birth, so we can watch as long as we're quiet, Lynn Sr. reminded them. That sounds good, dudes, and we can all go to the circus tomorrow as a family? Luna asked. Can we all go to the circus as a family tomorrow, please? Lori asked as well. Of course we can. We can go to the circus as a family tomorrow, since while looking for Elsa, you didn't get a lot of time to have fun there, Rita replied. Then all the Louds and Bobby headed towards the barn, where they headed towards Elsa's stall. Here she is, Marfa said as the Louds watched Elsa in her stall. She was in labor for a bit, and still nothing had happened. Nothing's happened yet. What's taking the foal so long? Lana asked. It takes about 12 to 18 minutes for a foal to be born, but since this is Elsa's first foal, it may take up to about an hour, Lisa explained. What if something goes wrong? Lenny asked. Elsa may need help if we don't see the foal within a half an hour. We have the vet's number and know what to do, Rita reassured Lenny. What's that coming out of the mare's? Well, you know what, Lola said in disgust. I think those are the front hooves, dude, Luna replied. And Lola, giving birth isn't really disgusting, it's life. Plus this is what labor is like, and I don't see me in that much pain anytime soon. Baby? Lily said. Yes, Lily, Elsa is having her baby, Rita replied. I'm sure she'll be fine. If she needs help, we're here, Marfa said, as the Louds watched Elsa having her foal in her stall. I see a nose coming out too, Luann said. Yeah, so the foal's right in the position to come out, Lynn Jr. said. Were you in that much pain having us kids? Lincoln asked Rita. Yes, I was, Lincoln, but it was all worth it when you were all born as babies, Rita replied, as the foal's head was out. Yikes, I'm glad not to be having kids right now, Lori stated. I'm still young to have kids, and that looks like it hurts. I agree, babe, but someday you'll be a mother of our kids, Bobby replied. The foal's almost out, Lynn Sr. said. As the foal was finally born, it started to move, and Elsa turned her head to see her baby. The baby's here, Luna added. Isn't the foal just a cutie? What is it? Lola asked, as Marfa took a towel and cleaned the foal up a bit. The foal was a roan color, and the Louds all had cute eyes all over the newborn foal. Is it a boy or is it a girl? Lana asked as well. Marfa checked the gender of the foal while she was cleaning it. It's a filly, Marfa replied. So it's a girl? Lana asked again. It's a girl, dude, Luna answered. She's the most beautiful foal we've ever seen, Lori said, nearly crying tears of joy. I cried when you were born, Lori, Rita said. She's gonna be a big horse someday, just like Mama, Bobby stated, as Elsa got up to turn to look and lick her foal. At this special moment, Lori took out her phone, which she used to record the horse's birth with, and took a photo of the newborn foal. You recorded the birth? Luann asked. Yeah, I'll post it when we get back to the house. This moment will be cherished by all of us, Lori replied. The foal was beginning to try and stand up. As the filly made her first attempt, she fell down. The Louds all watched with Marfa as the filly tried to stand up again. But finally the foal stumbled on her legs. Keep trying, little one. You can do it, Lynn Jr. encouraged. As the foal tried to stand up for the third time, she managed to stand up for the first time, although she did wobble a bit. The Louds were glad that the foal looked healthy. What's her name going to be? Lincoln asked. Can't we go with a name that's good? Lucy suggested. Well, since you all kids found Elsa and brought her home, why don't you all name the foal, and we'll be fine with whatever you name you decide, Lynn Sr. suggested. How does everyone feel about naming the foal Epona? Lincoln suggested, like from Legend of Zelda.
I like that name a lot, Lenny said. We all like it too, Lana added.
Great name, Lincoln. Epona it is, Lori said. How long can we keep Elsa and Epona? Well, we'll keep them for as long as you kids want, Rita replied. Then Epona began to nurse from Elsa. She's nursing from Mom. It looks like she found out where milk comes from, Luann said. Just use your imagination on that, what I just said, from horses. I already know the answer, but you do have a good point, Lisa stated. It seems like Mom and Baby are going to be just fine, Martha said. Since it's almost bedtime, why don't we put all the other horses to bed and leave Elsa and the baby alone together to bond? We'll check them in the morning. Sounds great. Glad Mom and Baby are doing well, Bobby said, as Lori hugged him. Come on, Boo Boo Bear. Let's get going, Lori said. The Louds and Bobby put the rest of the horses to bed before heading out of the barn, and this time, Lori made sure that all stall doors were shut, as well as the barn. The next day, however, the Louds and Bobby were getting ready to go to a circus as the family at Meadow Lane Creek. As they were all in Vanzilla, they drove down the road where they stopped at a nearby pasture. Inside the pasture, they saw Elsa with Epona. The foal was already playful and running around like crazy. The Louds and Bobby waved goodbye to the horses before they drove off to the circus. At the circus, the Louds and Bobby were having a fun time there, eating treats, seeing animals, watching acts, and Luann even got herself a Barney the dinosaur costume. As her act was going on as Barney, she looked at the audience. That was super-duper, or should I say, stupendous! Ha 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 ha! Luann cackled as Barney the dinosaur, and the Louds will have to admit that this adventure was the best one they've ever had this summer.